Hi everyone in English 2327. This is the second video in the series. This one is going to offer you some information and places to go to access the different assignments for the week and each week how it's broken down, but also just to familiarize yourself with D2L. Some of you may not be so familiar with it, and even if you are, this is just good review because D2L can kind of be the worst sometimes, so it never hurts to have a refresher. Just like in the last video that was over the syllabus, which hopefully you watched first, I do ask that you have a pen and paper handy so that you can write down some questions that you'll then need to answer in an email that's due to me by Wednesday, which is also in the syllabus schedule. So I'm going to pull up D2L here, and you'll see the first area that appears is the announcements section. This is where I'm just going to post any updates or any changes, anything that you need to know about in a pinch, I will post here. So this is always a good place to check out when you log into the class, which hopefully you're going to be doing on a very regular basis. Note that your view is a little different from mine, so if your screen doesn't look exactly like mine does at this moment, that's okay. I have a different view as the instructor, but we just want to give you the gist of it, okay? So if you go up to the content area, so see I'm circling that content area, go ahead and click there. It may open up to this section. This is the overview, and this is just information from your syllabus, just so that in a pinch you know when the office hours are or any of this information that might be useful to you. I want you to go to the left-hand side and note that there are some different sections there, the most important of which is going to be the table of contents, because that's where the weekly information and assignments will be located. So that's the question I want you to ask in the email is, you know, where do I go? Where do I go to access the weekly assignments? And that's going to be, again, in the weekly module area of the table of contents. So if you look, you'll see the syllabus is posted here, the syllabus video, as well as links to those different discussion posts. So you can just click on week one's writing journal. You have the prompt here. You go and you start a new thread and you offer your responses. Okay, I'm just going to click the back button. So the week one writing journal, the week one reading response, anything that's relevant or connected to that week's assignments will be posted here. All the videos, any other materials that may be helpful, any additional readings, that kind of thing. So remember also that if you are, frantically searching, well, where's everything for that week? You may be in the overview area. So just make sure you're clicking on the left-hand side to that particular week. Okay, I'm going to click on the link with our class information at the top. That just takes us back to our main page where the announcements are visible. Okay, so we did the content area. Know that your grades will be visible as well. It takes me a while to grade everything, so don't be frantic if you don't see things immediately. That's not how the grades are going to work. It's going to take me some time. But I do want you to know and be aware that if you see a dash where a grade should be, that doesn't mean that it's an automatic 0. That just means it hasn't been graded yet. So unless you see a 0, know you completed something, then please be patient and just don't worry about it just yet. But the grades will give you, an updated view of how you're doing in the class. If you go to the course activities page, this is going to be more relevant down the line in a few weeks, but I just want you to kind of know where to go and to click around. In the assignment section, that's where eventually you'll submit the final version of your paper portfolio. You'll upload that as a Microsoft Word document. So again, please save, not just your paper topic discussions, but all of your discussion entries in a file so that if you lose them, if you get logged out, whatever the case, you have access to them and you've saved them somewhere. So the assignments section is pretty relevant, and the quizzes, that area is where you'll complete your course reflection at the end of the course. So I will remind you about this down the line, but I just want you to kind of be aware that these different areas are here. And then in the collaboration area, that's where you can also go to find the discussions. But again, it's going to be better if you go to the table of contents area in content, right, to access your discussions, right? You just want to make sure you're doing everything for that week by going to that area. The next place I want to go and talk about is email and instant messaging. So if you go up to the top right, you have that envelope icon, and if you click on that, the drop-down menu gives you the option for instant messages or for email. Let's walk through instant messages first because that's where we'll hold office hours. a pop-up window will appear, and this is where you can go. You can search through the class list or friends. You can search class list to find me. That's probably the most important. You can definitely communicate with your classmates in this feature as well, but if you're looking for me for office hours, this is where you'll go. So just play around with that. And then if you click on email, it will take you to something that probably looks very familiar. It looks like a lot of different email programs. I'm going to click compose and just walk you through this process. Again, pretty straightforward, but you have to know who you're emailing and how to spell their name. So don't click and type in Dr. E because that will not be recognized. So you need to know my name, which is Erin Raft. So if you just start typing my first name or my last name, you will see in a drop-down menu that my address is one of the options. So just click on that. And you'll notice that the subject line is auto-populated based on our class. So you want to make sure you're in our class when you send me an email. If you are also taking a biology class and you are in that course area and try to send me an email, oops, I'm sorry, the topic is going to read out the biology information, and I'm going to either ignore the email because I'm going to assume it was sent by mistake, or I'm just going to be very confused. Okay, so in here, just, you know, hey, Dr. E, we don't have to be super formal, but I wouldn't mind a greeting. Type in your information and then click send. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. You're probably going, why do we need to go over this, Dr. E? Well, it gets kind of complex when you don't know the name of the person you're sending an email to. So maybe you're trying to reach out to somebody in our class or in another class. You will need to use the address book. And this is where D2L can get kind of clunky. So from the filter by, this is what it looks like. From the filter by area, there's a drop-down menu. Don't freak out, this is all the classes I've taught. So you'll have to find our class. Your list won't be as lengthy as mine. So find our class and click on that. And then the names of the people will appear, okay? So I'm just gonna search for my address just so I can use myself as an example. So from our entire class list, you find me, okay? And then next to my name, you click the little box. The next logical step is going to be to click add recipients, right? Okay, so I'm going to click that and nothing has happened because D2L can sometimes be the worst. I don't know why they don't make it a bit more simple. But if you go back to address, again, we're using me as an example, click next to my name, and then against all reason, you need to click the little to button right here. You'll see my name and address is populated in the to line. Then you click add recipients, and there I am. Again, it could be a lot easier, but it's D2L, so we just have to roll with the punches when it comes to using this program. So that's how you send an email, and that's how you'll send me your responses to the questions that are within these videos by Wednesday. Okay, that's just a general breakdown of where to go and what to do. I do want to include one last bit of information, which is that in order to stay updated or to on the go access D2L on your phone, you'll want to download the Brightspace Pulse app. Depending on what kind of smartphone you have, if you have a smartphone, it'll be either Pulse or Brightspace Pulse. So if you go up to your name up at the upper right hand corner and from the drop down menu select notifications, it will have the information on, you know, where to go and what to do for that. But also, if you would prefer not to download that on your phone, or if you don't have access to a smartphone, you can always register any kind of mobile that you have, or you can have things sent via email, okay? So if you click on register your mobile, it will just ask you for some information. You'll click save, and it will send you a confirmation text. Once you've done that, you can then make some selections under the SMS area. Y'all, please don't select everything. You don't want your phone blowing up with text messages about every little thing that has happened in D2L. I would suggest for our class at least, announcements are probably useful, so you can select those either through email or SMS. Once you make those selections, please make sure you click the save button. That's going to make a big difference. But the Pulse app is pretty user-friendly, unlike maybe accessing the D2L website, you know, just using Google or a search engine to do your work, okay? So that's just a basic breakdown of D2L, where to go and what to do for our class. If you have any questions, of course, shoot me an email or we can talk during office hours, and I will see you in the next video.